You said that Fred Warner deal is going to be a little bit easier to do after the draft because Jimmy Garoppolo won't be on the team anymore. Could you just expand? I know we've talked about this before, but what's your, as of April 21, what is your expectation here with Jimmy?
To me, Jimmy Garoppolo being on this team makes no sense for both parties involved, okay? You don't trade 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick for a guy to sit for 1 year at quarterback. You're paying that much because why, Grant? You're desperate and you need to go get a starting quarterback, not a backup quarterback, a starting one. So that's one. 2, and I've talked about this a lot, and if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, look, if Jimmy Garoppolo – everybody wants to romanticize the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation. And I don't think that situation is applicable. I've tweeted about it before. I've talked about it, and I'll explain it why. There's 2 reasons. The first reason, the exam was quite good. It was an exam, actually. I have the exam in this class on Thursday. It was a homework assignment. But for 2 reasons, the Patrick Mahomes Alex Smith situation isn't applicable. First thing is that a lot of teams have tried the bridge quarterback route. Alex Smith made the playoffs, had the best season of his career. That worked. What about Sam Bradford with the Arizona Cardinals, Grant? What about Tyrod Taylor last year with Justin Herbert? What about Tyrod Taylor with Baker Mayfield? Now, you can argue that Jimmy's better than all of them, but the point is that this bridge quarterback thing usually doesn't work because even in the case when Kurt Warner is 5-5 with the Giants, ownership and head coaches want the Eli Manning era to start, and Eli Manning ends up playing and Kurt Warner goes to Arizona. So
now you could argue that perhaps Brady, Mahomes, Romo, Rodgers did benefit from sitting on the bench, although it's hard to prove.
Because here, and that's the second point, right? I think Splash Cousin Jordan, he says it best. He goes, you can't tell me that Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have been pretty good his first year starting. Like, sure, that year helped him, right? But that second year of starting, he threw 50 touchdown passes. True. You can't tell me Brady, that. But Brady wasn't a first round pick, right? Exactly. We're talking about the number 3 overall, Patrick Mahomes' 10th overall pick, right? That's big. That's so. And again, going back to Jimmy Garoppolo's perspective, here's why it doesn't make sense. If Jimmy Garoppolo gets benched midway through this season as the 49ers quarterback, let's say they go into the season with Garoppolo as the starter and he gets benched, he will never go into another training camp as the presumptive starting quarterback for any team in the NFL. He will not be any team's short-term future. And he's already 30 years old. And he only has, what,
he'll have to go the Mitchell Trubisky
games of starting?
Yeah.
Right. So what will happen is that. So what if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you're trying to get yourself to, again, Kyle Shanahan said it in his presser, one team's getting left at the altar. Denver's getting left at the altar. Or Washington. One of these teams is getting left at the altar. These are playoff caliber rosters. If you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you're trying to get yourself to one of these rosters because now if you make the playoffs next year and you play really well, you're the short-term future for that team. And you remain the starting quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years, barring injury. So for both sides, I just don't see the sense in keeping Garoppolo. And if you're Garoppolo, why would you want to stay here?
So your best guess, the Niners take their quarterback at 3 and then suddenly become open to trading Jimmy Garoppolo and complete the deal by day 2?
Well, they won't phrase it like that, right? It'll be
they won't phrase it like that. But magically, all of a sudden, hey, we're taking calls. Hey, maybe we've lowered our demands a little bit.
Oh wow, we got the best. Oh, that offer we couldn't refuse. We couldn't refuse that.
That's how they'll say it. You know what? We didn't want to trade Jimmy. We wanted him to compete, but we got this offer we couldn't refuse. Yep,
absolutely. And I keep going back to $250,000 guaranteed for Nate Sudfeld. You don't give a quarterback $250,000 guaranteed if you don't think he's going to make your roster.
It doesn't sound like a lot of money on football terms, but it's a lot of money. You don't just hand that to someone. You're like, you know what, we're going to cut you, but have $250,000 for fun.
For a third string job, but that's just $250,000 guaranteed, so you'll sign here.
Here's $250,000. We're going to cut you in 6 months. Have a great time. Go to Cancun when you're not in the league next year. On us. Doesn't happen. No. So, yeah, it's a good point. The Sudfeld factor. Big Bad Brad says, who will end up with Troy Warner? Wouldn't it be nice to get the 2 brothers on the field together? Have you watched much of Troy Warner? I haven't.
Not a minute.
Sorry, Big Bad Brad. Here's what I do. When someone gives a donation for a question I can't answer, I say that I'll get back to you. So what I'll do is I'll watch some Troy Warner. I promise I will do some scouting and I'll get back to you. I promise. All right. I'll get back to you.